Hi guys. Okay, well I wanted to run my tapestry code for you. So this was the assignment. It looks something like this. And I'm just going to concentrate on explaining this top half mechanism this time. You'll notice that I have up here in my main, I have three different methods called borders called twice. And borders pretty straightforward. So I'm going to really just concentrate on this right here. Okay, so this is my method for top half. It corresponds with this portion of my final product, okay? And so a couple things I noticed right off the bat. So this is 4 different lines. But in order to make my code more simple, what I decided to say was that this was line 0, this was line 1, this is line 2, and this is line 3. So I start off by defining top half. I write this for loop. So I write for, and then I initialize the variable line. And I told you I wanted to make it line equals 0. And for all values of line less than 4, so 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this all is inside that for loop. So there's nested for loops inside this larger one. Okay, so this initiates my line numbers. The first thing I want to do is print just a vertical bar. So the first thing that when it enters this for loop is it prints that bar. Then it enters this for loop. So this for loop is for the number of spaces. And so I'm going to put a star in here so that you can see. But the pattern was this. For line 0, there needed to be 6 spaces. For line 1, there needed to be 4. For line 2, there needed to be 2. And for line 3, there needed to be 0. And so when I looked at that pattern, I found this relationship. So space equals 6 minus line times 2. And if you go through and actually do that math, you'll be able to see. So for example, remember this is line 2, 0, 1, 2. I want 2 stars. So if I go over here, line is 2 times 2 is 4, and 6 minus 4 is 2. So that's how I'd get that printed out. I put this star in here even as I was building the code just so I could see the number of things being printed, because otherwise it would have been really hard. Okay, my next thing is to print one of these diamonds. It's the same sort of just system.out.print as the pipe. Doesn't take too much. Then I want this dot. Okay, so the dot follows a different pattern. On line 0, there are 0 dots. On line 1, there are 4. On line 2, there's 8, and on line 3, there's 12. So maybe you're even hearing that basically the number of dots wanted to be 4 times whatever line it was. So you can see that in my for loop here. I initiate dot at 0, and then I said as long as dot was less than 4 times line, you need to print this point. And so if we go back to this example of line 2 again, 2 needs 8 dots. So 4 times line 2, this will run through this 8 times, and it will print out 8 dots. Okay, my next thing is that I go here and I reprint out the diamond. And you'll see like in this top line here, where line was 0 and 0 can't be less than 0, right? So that this for loop ends without even printing anything. These two things print back to back. Okay, this right here is a repeat of the spaces above because you want the same spaces on the other side. And this right here prints out another pipe. So you can see the code is symmetrical. Within this for loop, I end with just doing a blank println so that it goes on to the next line. So this right here is the code for top half. I would say the biggest things for me was actually like putting in these stars to make sure, and then really looking at the relationship between the line and the number of something I wanted. For me, it was easiest to initialize things at 0 because I noticed right off the bat that I would want 0 dots on the first line, and I figured it would be most easy to multiply that. But as long as you're really looking at the relationship between your outer variable, which for me was line, and then the number of the times you want that printed out, this nested for loop model works pretty well. So anyway, that's my thinking behind it. I hope this was helpful. And I'm going to erase these stars so it goes back to looking beautiful. There it is. Okay, bye.